Welcome to Cryptocurrency Investing 101. That's the title of this video, but it's actually going to be this is going to be the first video in a series that I'm going to call Cryptocurrency Investing 101. I'm going to set it up as a playlist on my YouTube channel. So go ahead, make certain that you don't miss any upcoming videos that are going to be a part of this playlist. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification icon so you will know as soon as I drop a video about cryptocurrency investing. Here's my goal in this series. I want to be able to help you get started. I want you to be able to get started, make sound decisions in your cryptocurrency investing, and not be able to feel like you're all emotional, you're nervous, you're fearful. The market's going up, you're excited, the market's going down, you're scared. I want to be able to remove that emotion out of it for you, and I want to be able to set you up to eventually profit from what I believe will be one of the most incredible growth industries that we've seen in any recent times. There's nothing like this in the financial sector. I mean, cryptocurrencies is a cross between the financial sector, it's a cross between the technology sector, and ultimately I believe they're going to totally change the way that we live our lives today. I believe that what Facebook was to the internet, cryptocurrency may be to the entire world. I literally believe it's going to touch, and the blockchain technology behind cryptocurrencies is going to touch our entire lives in so many different areas. And that's what makes this space so exciting. But if you're not careful, you can make poor decisions and you can lose a lot of money. And if I can help prevent you from losing money, that's going to be my first goal. But with that being said, let me just say this. I've got an entire list here that I'm going to go through. The first thing I want you to know, though, is because we are so early in this space, so early. I mean, cryptocurrency right now is, Bitcoin right now, the top currency is over $6,000 per Bitcoin. Now, when you understand that the Winklevoss twins got in and Bitcoin was just over $100 per coin, and they got in with $11 million back then. I mean, that $11 million has grown to over $1 billion probably. At least it was at the height of the market. So obviously there's a chance to be able to, with some fantastic gains. And you may say, well, it's at 6,000 now, how much higher can it go? There are people predicting, and I'm one of them. I think Bitcoin, I'm not an expert. I mean, I'm just an enthusiast, a cryptocurrency evangelist. So listen, one of the things I'm going to tell you is be careful what you hear on YouTube videos, mine included. I mean, most of us are just excited about this space. We don't have any credentials to quote unquote be experts outside of our own reading, our own research, and our own very biased beliefs. But I mean, I believe we could see Bitcoin, and there's reasons that I believe this. I believe we could see $60,000 or $600,000 Bitcoin one day. I do believe that's a possibility. And there's other people like John McAfee and other people as well that are supposed experts that believe that as well. But let's just get into investing 101, some basic tips, some basic strategies to be able to help you. First thing I want to tell you is make certain that you start small. First thing is first, you need to set up an account. You need to be able to buy your first cryptocurrency. One of the easiest ways to do that is Coinbase. Come over here to Coinbase. There's a link below this video if you want to go there. If you want to support my channel, I've set up an account. Coinbase, especially in the US, is one of the easiest websites to use. You can buy cryptocurrency on Coinbase using a credit card, a debit card, bank wire, ACH transfer. It's probably the simplest, most painless way to be able to purchase Bitcoin or Ethereum or Bitcoin Cash or Litecoin, Ethereum Classic. And all you have to do is come here, click click sign up, and just set up an account. And I'll probably do a video in the future just walking you through, showing you how to set up an account. So again, just subscribe to this channel and stay tuned for that. Once you have your account set up, start small. What is small? Well, small is whatever you want it to be, but here's what I can tell you. You need to be able to use an amount of money that you're not going to feel like you're going to have sleepless nights over. You need to use an amount of money that if it's gone tomorrow, it truly is okay. You swung for the fences and it just didn't work out. Why? Because this space is extremely volatile. It moves fast. Right here, Bitcoin's at $6,000, just over $6,000 right now, but just a few months ago, it was at $20,000. And a few months before that, it was only at $1,000. So it can move fast, and you probably know that. I mean, you're probably watching this video, doing your own research because of all of the headlines somewhere that you've seen or you've read about. You've probably been following Bitcoin a while. You probably missed out on the bull run when it ran up to 20,000. You're seeing it pulling back, and you're trying to determine whether you should get in or not. What I can tell you is, if you don't put in too much money that you're extremely emotional, then it doesn't matter. What are you waiting for? Get in. Get in. I would, start with like $500 or $1,000 or $2,000. And if that's too much for you, I had someone on one of my videos said, I have $11 that I can invest. What should I do with it? Go to the store and buy some food. I mean, literally, like it's $11. If that's all you've got to your name, you have to have a much more important need in your life than some sort of risky investing. This is not a gamble. If you're looking at this as a gamble, like you're just trying to hit a home run, you've got some debts you got to pay off, and you want to, drop some money in Bitcoin and see it go to the moon, as they say, see it just take off, and then you're going to cash out and pay off some debts. That is the wrong reason to be in this space. So just start small. Couple $100, $500, $1,000, $2,000. If you're already investing, I don't think cryptocurrency should not be your number one place to invest. That's the first thing. Oh my goodness, I got some stories for you. I just thought of 2 stories I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit later in this video, so stay tuned. Don't come here investing if you've never made any other investment. I don't necessarily think that Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, Ethereum or whatever, should be your very first investment. I personally, that's my opinion, I don't believe it should be your very first investment because it's so risky. If your life savings, is, $5,000, I would not put that into cryptocurrency. Go do something with the stock market, go get some dividend paying stocks, go do something, but go put it in a savings account or something. And maybe you just pull out 10% of it or whatever and put it into cryptocurrency. If you have a way to earn extra money and that's what you want to do, then go do something to make an extra $200 or $500 that you don't have to have, and then use that for your cryptocurrency portfolio. I've done that, by the way. I've done that, and I do some of that now. I actually started small side businesses just to produce small incomes to help me buy more Bitcoin, more Ethereum. So you can totally do that. So now that we understand open an account, start small, here's my next recommendation. I recommend the very first thing that you buy is Bitcoin and or Ethereum. Maybe split it 50-50. And the way that I recommend that you buy it, this is why it's really good to have $500 or $1,000 or $2,000. I would split up your whatever you have. So if you have $1,000, I would split it up into, divided by 10, $100. And I would use that $100, and what I would literally use it and do what they call dollar cost average in. So maybe once or twice a month, I would buy Bitcoin. Once or twice a month, buy Ethereum. And I would do that until you had your full 1,000 or your full 2,000 or whatever. And I wouldn't split it up I wouldn't get much smaller than $100 because, fees eventually start working against you. So, about $100 is the minimum amount. Buy $100 in Bitcoin. Then, in a couple of weeks, buy $100 in Ethereum. In a couple of weeks, maybe $100 in Bitcoin. The reason is because it's so volatile. Literally, cryptocurrency, this space can go up and down 5, 10%, sometimes 20% in a single day. And the last thing that you want to do is buy in and see that, your investment lost 20% right away. And it's better if it takes you a few weeks. Be patient with this market. Be patient. You cannot be emotional. You have to do everything. And I've got some tips to show you how to stay unemotional. And I've also got an incredible story I'm going to show you about people just getting crazy emotional. Probably one of the most emotional, borderline psychotic environments that I've ever seen. Psychotic may be the wrong word, but crazy emotional for sure. So I'm going to share that story with you in a moment. But I would recommend that you start small, that you dollar cost average in, which is you just buy a little bit over time, Take a few weeks, even 90 days, 6 months. And that's really a long time in the cryptocurrency space, but it's going to ensure that you don't accidentally buy the bottom. That's what it's going to ensure. As the market goes up and down, you're going to buy some here, 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 you'll buy some here. This is a 7-day chart, but you get my picture. You're not going to be buying in every 7 days. But the idea is it goes up and down. You're going to be buying all along the spectrum. Create rules to your investing. When you know what you want to invest in, make a decision. You're going to buy once a week or once a month. You have X amount of, if you have an extra couple $100 a month, and I do recommend that you create some sort of budget, and that, if it's a couple $100 a month, then you use that. Or it's $100 a month, then you use that. And you make systematic, consistent buys in the projects that you believe in. I recommend that at least 50% of your portfolio, at least starting out, and again, I'm not an expert, I'm just trying to do everything I can think of to help prevent you from losing money. I would buy into Bitcoin and or Ethereum, probably 50-50, and I would let that be about 50% of your portfolio. And here's why. As of right now, the cryptocurrency market is almost ruled 100% by first mover advantages. Meaning, Bitcoin's not the only cryptocurrency. In fact, there's over 2,000 of them. You might not have even known that. However, even though there's over 2,000 cryptocurrencies, 53% of all of the money in the cryptocurrency market is in Bitcoin. So even though I told you the market can be extremely volatile, Bitcoin's going to be the most stable. It's going to be, quote unquote, the safest. At least it has been in this current market environment that we've been in and historically. Same thing with Ethereum. Ethereum's a totally different type of cryptocurrency, and I'll do an entire video on Ethereum a little bit later. But it's a totally different type of cryptocurrency than Bitcoin. It has some unique attributes to it that allows basically programs to be written on its blockchain. However, it was the very first cryptocurrency to do that, which is why it's number 2 with a $21 billion market cap, which is a fraction of Bitcoin. But I would recommend that you have these two at least for sure, starting out. And then from there, you can do your own research into other coins. Now, that's the important keyword there. Research, 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 research. You do not want to get caught up in hype. Hype is all emotional. Be careful for so-called experts. You want to become your own expert, at least to your own convictions and your own beliefs. I want to tell you a story briefly about hype. Now, many of you watching this video, you may know about this, especially if you've been in the cryptocurrency market for the past couple of years. You know about this. But if you're new, and obviously this video is titled Cryptocurrency Investing 101, but if you're brand new, you may know nothing about this. But I'm going to tell you a crazy story about a cryptocurrency project that on the surface looked really fascinating. And it had all of the perfect elements to make it like the perfect scam. And what I'm talking about is something called BitConnect. Now, let me tell you, BitConnect was very, interesting. And I think a lot of people would have avoided BitConnect and would not have become victims to this had they not got caught up in the hype. But BitConnect, in short, was basically a Ponzi scheme. And that's where at the time, the website is still up. It's adjusted itself. Currently, the price of the one BitConnect coin is 29 cents. At the height, this thing was like over $300. It might have been close to $500. It was definitely over $300, maybe $400, just under $400, somewhere in there. It was way up there. And overnight, it collapsed to like $15, and then within 2 days, it was down to like under $5 a dollar, something like that. Like, it was crazy. And essentially what it was people would buy this token. I don't even want to explain it because it's so crazy. They would buy this token, they would lend the token back to some bot through this exchange, and this bot was supposed to be doing algorithmic trading, and it was supposed to be producing profits every single day. The problem is, listen, I followed BitConnect. I absolutely looked at this myself. I absolutely did not go unscathed by BitConnect. Even I fell into this eventually. And I'll tell you why. Because algorithm trading is a real thing. Now, I knew that the algorithm couldn't continue forever. Algorithm trading exists. It does produce incredible profits in certain market conditions. But those market cycles tend to be a few months to a couple of years, 2 or 3 years at best. Now, I knew that. I had like $1,000 in BitConnect. It wasn't a lot. I knew that. It wasn't a lot for my portfolio. But I knew that at some point this has to. Now, what concerned me is nobody was talking about, oh no, this is only good for a season. That's the part that concerned me. That was a red flag. I'm like, wait a minute, this can't go on forever. And the fact that you could never see, you couldn't prove that the quote unquote bot exists. They did have some data on the website that showed you, some volatility measurements and stuff like that. So I thought maybe it's possible. And here's the thing, because it's cryptocurrency, a lot of people want to believe in the future and they want to believe that things are going to be radical and unique. But here's what happened with BitConnect. It got hyped up a lot by promoters. People like Trayvon James, as you can see, he's been in front of the SEC talking about BitConnect. He's obviously upset at the YouTube community. This gentleman had, I think he still has over 100,000 plus subscribers to his YouTube channel. And every single day, I don't know how much money he made, but he made a lot with BitConnect. Every single day he was on YouTube talking about how much money he was pulling out. And BitConnect had a referral program. So he was making money every time someone was signing up. And he was doing his nightly coin count. And everybody, it's hard not to watch that and to see months on end. Like this thing ran for almost 2 years, I think, a year and a half, 18 months. It's hard not to see that every single day and watch someone go from, a few $1,000s to $100,000. You see them making $10 a day, $100 a day. All of a sudden they're doing $1,000 a day. You see that live on their, YouTube videos. It's hard not to think, I don't know. Here I am missing out. So you don't want to fall victim to that. Another one was Craig Grant. Craig Grant is a gentleman who has a shady background. By the way, now he's delivering pizzas. True story. BitConnect didn't work for him, obviously. But he was another one. 100,000 plus subscribers on YouTube. And the guy was, withdrawing something crazy like $1,000 a day. There's another young kid, Crypto Nick. Crypto Nick's another one. Crypto Nick made like over $1 million. I heard as much as $2 million at like 17, 18 years old in BitConnect. Now, when it went down, a lot of people, here's what I don't want you to be. This is a perfect example. I don't want you to be, when BitConnect crashed, all these people went to, Trayvon and Craig Grant and Nick, and they blamed them. They blamed them for their poor decisions. You are an adult in this space. You are responsible for your investments. No one else is responsible. I lost, it wasn't a lot, thankfully, but I lost money in BitConnect. Who cares? If I would have been dumb enough to put my mortgage up, that would have been my fault. That's horrible investing advice. Horrible. There was a bot that nobody could prove ever existed. And most people got caught up because it went on for so long that you begin to wonder, And for me personally, I knew that if it was real, then the bot was going to have to slow down because of saturation, slippage in the market. That's a more complex term. Sure enough, when you looked at the volume, and this is actually what got me personally, when you looked at the volume of the BitConnect bot, the volatility charts, you could see that the volume was slowing down. It cannot be sustained once the account gets but so big. So neither here nor there. This BitConnect thing got crazy. Like there's people, running from the police and, supposedly like people, hitman getting hired, not here in the U.S., not none of these guys, but over like in India and Asia and all the places where this was like really big. Supposedly that's where it originated. Who knows? Now, am I saying these guys were innocent? I'm not necessarily saying that. I'm just saying that I don't know that I don't know how much they're guilty, to what extent they're guilty. A lot of people, there's a lot of hate for these people. I get it. I get the hate. However, you're an adult, and today, this past year was BitConnect. Next year, it will be something else. A few years ago, it was Bernie Madoff. So there's always something out there. So you have to be wary. So I just want you to be careful. So the way you do that is do research, basic research and transparency of the project. That's the key. So what do you want to research? Let's talk about that. What you want to research is, here you go, VeChain. As you start to, let me just back up here real quick as well. As you start to look for other currencies to invest in, start at the top. These are the ones that have the largest market capitalization, meaning there's the most money invested in them, and just work your way down. And you start researching one by one if you want to. Find out what makes them unique, because the further down this list you go, the more risky, the smaller caps tend to be more risky. That's just I'm not saying that's a fact. I'm just saying the lower the market cap is, the more risky the project, the less people that's believed in it. So just be mindful of that. Now, today, Steam's at number 40. Well, in a couple of weeks, Steam could be in the top 10. In fact, I think it has been in the top 10 or the top 20 before. So these things, they move a lot, they shuffle a lot. I'm just telling you, I would start working down the list as you do your own research. You want to research, let's look at, where's it at? VeChain, number 20. So here's VeChain's website. A couple of things that you can do to research a project is you want to just ask a couple of questions. You want to know, is there a team behind it? What's the team's experience? Is the project, does it have a use case? What's the problem they're trying to solve? How are they planning to solve it? And does it need, this is a big one, does it need blockchain technology to solve it? And does it need a cryptocurrency to solve it? Is there a real use case for the cryptocurrency? The reason I say that is because there's something called ICOs. That's the initial public offering. Here in the US, you can't legally invest in ICOs. But an ICO is an initial coin offering. It's the same thing as an initial public offering in the stock market. However, there are a lot of projects that will release an ICO, sell tokens on the open market, and they're really just using it to raise money. They may be some sort of technology company or whatever, but they don't necessarily need a token. They're literally just using the ICO to raise money. That's probably not going to work. And quite honestly, as regulations come down, and this is a space that is still highly unregulated, but as regulations come down, you're probably going to see that those projects are going to run into problems with regulators because they're sidestepping the initial public offering type reissuing stock of the stock market. They're sidestepping those regulations by doing an initial coin offering. And so you just want to be mindful of is there a reason that they need to issue a cryptocurrency? Make sure they're not just doing a money grab. And then what you want to, once you know that there's a real problem that they're working to solve that needs a blockchain solution, for example, VeChain. And some people love you're going to find that people love their projects, myself included. Everyone has their own pet project. VeChain, I'm indifferent to it. Take it or leave it. It doesn't make any difference to me. But what they're trying to solve is basically supply chain tracking and management of goods and services. They're not the only one doing it. However, they've got a team. That's the problem they're solving. Blockchain would work well for doing that. Now, when you research a team, I'm going to show you how to research a team, research a project, see what's going on. You want to know that there's active development taking place, and you want to know there's a good team in place. So what I would recommend that you do is visit their website. Look for links like this. Look for their Twitter. Are they active on Twitter? What's going on Reddit? Do they have a Telegram group? What's the community got going on? Community is important, and I'm going to talk to you about community here in a minute. I'm going to talk to you about 3 things that I think give any project an advantage, and most people don't even talk about it. So that's going to be coming up here in a moment. One of the things that you can do to measure out is there active development is check out their GitHub. So GitHub is this little thing here. But when you go to GitHub, I'm just going to show you how, if you're a newbie, how to check out GitHub. GitHub is basically where the best way to say it is it's just where a bunch of programmers put up code and track changes. That's the bottom line. That's just the basic newbie example. So what you can do, or explanation, you want to see that there's commits. Commits are like changes to the code. You want to see that there's a lot of commits. The more the better. This has got 2,000. That's a lot. That's awesome. I think Bitcoin has like 18 or 20,000 commits. So 2,000 is a lot of commits. There's contributors. And you can scroll down and take a look at, what's going on. You can click on commits and kind of see what they're changing. When was the last time? And you want to make sure that the commits are recent. 5 days ago, 6 days ago, 7 days ago, 12 days ago. So there's a lot of active stuff going on here. The 19th of September, the 12th of September, 6th of September. So there's clearly a lot of active development. And if you have a background in like programming, then you can oftentimes click on these and kind of see exactly what's getting changed with the project. So you want to know, but you, at the very least, you want to see commits, and you want to see that they have more than one, let me back that up, more than one contributor. I mean, sometimes if you see it's got one contributor, you gotta, that's real sketchy. The more contributors, the better. All right. Now, when it comes to the 3 things I want you to be aware of is first mover advantage, community, and marketing. You want to have a project, if those 3 things are on lockdown, at least for the near term and the short term, you're probably going to be okay. Now, first mover advantage, so far in the cryptocurrency space, in almost over 90% of the time, in fact, I can't think of a scenario where first mover advantage hasn't been the number one cryptocurrency. For example, Ethereum is not the only thing that has a blockchain, the programmable blockchain. There's several. Neo, IOTA has something similar. Neo, there's a lot of things. Bitcoin's not the first one that can be used as a currency. Dash is a currency, but it's like a privacy coin. That's a masternode. It's not the first. It's not the only privacy coin. It's not. It is the first masternode, and it's one of the first privacy. Sorry, it's one of the first privacy coins, one of the first masternodes. However, it also has first mover advantage, the masternode privacy coin feature. Monero is a solid privacy coin. It is a real privacy coin. Like there's no way to be able to track transactions using Monero. It's the first privacy coin. Is it the only privacy coin? No, it's not the only privacy coin. Zcash is another privacy coin. First mover advantage in the crypto space is real. Very few first movers have been debunked, meaning the second or third mover that's trying to improve upon the first mover's technology, the first mover projects, rarely has been able to do that, if ever, in the cryptocurrency space. So first mover advantage, were they the first ones to develop it? Did they have a head start? That's a big deal. Also, is there an active community? So when you come over here to like VeChain and you scroll down, by the way, I want to show you, they actually have a great website. I mean, I don't like the layouts of the website, but they have a good website. They explain their technology, they explain kind of what they're doing. But you come down, use case. They explain the use cases of their coin. That's awesome. There's a real use case, a token's needed, and they explain it very well. This is their team. By the way, when you're researching a team, you want to check out their LinkedIn stats. You want to check out their Twitters. Go to Google and just search their name. Make certain they are somebody. Don't, if you just find a whole bunch of blank social media profiles, then you should be concerned about that. I'll get a roadmap in a moment. But marketing is important. Community is important. So go to the Telegram group. Can you talk to any of these people in Telegram? For a lot of the projects, you can talk to the actual developers and stuff. They'll be in Telegram or Discord. Discord's another option. So there'll be a Discord. If you can interact with the community, if you can talk to the developers, if you can talk to people that are heading up the project, if you can see them interacting, they're keeping people up to date, that's good. How big is the community? How big is the group? Is there 5 people, 500, or 50,000 in the Discord or in the Telegram group? That's what you're looking for. You're looking for how big is a community? How active is a community? I mean, that's huge for creating some stability around a project. Also, marketing. Now, this is something that is huge. A lot of people don't think marketing matters. A lot of people don't think community matters. A lot of people don't think first mover advantage matters. So these are my opinion, and I'm telling you, I believe it as fact. Marketing is a big deal, right? I can tell you right now, I'll give you an example. Dash, which also has first mover advantage in the masternode space. Dash is a powerhouse marketing machine. They have an entire budget that is nothing but marketing. They are on YouTube channels. They sponsor, I mean, you'll see Dash sponsoring all sorts of stuff. I mean, you'll just, now that I've told you about Dash, if you're in this space long, you'll see them talked about often in various formats and different places. I've seen ads for Dash on YouTube. I mean, they do marketing, and that creates awareness. Marketing is a real thing. Let me tell you a story unrelated to cryptocurrency, but it is related to business around marketing. So I was at an event one time with, so it was a cigar event basically, and this company, CAO Cigars, for several years, it was started by a young guy named, at the time he was very young, in his late 20s or early 30s, named Pete Johnson. Pete Johnson, no, I'm sorry, Pete Johnson did Tatuaje. That's what I meant, Tatuaje. Hang on, wrong company. All right, just did a little bit of research and I was correct. Okay, I was correct. It was CAO. I was correct the first time. So CAO Cigars, they were like, at first they were just killing the market when they first came out. I mean, their cigars were getting rated extremely high, right here, like this right here, top 25 cigar and Cigar Aficionado, which is an industry magazine. They were just rated high. They were doing well, the whole 9 yards. However, the manufacturer at that time for CAO Cigars was a company called Torano Cigars. Now, Torano Cigars had their own cigar brand, their own cigar line. This is it right here, Torano Cigars. But they were basically being paid by CAO Cigars to create and roll, blend, create, manufacture all of CAO Cigars in the early days of the business, the first few years. But no one was hearing about Torano Cigars, but everybody was hearing about CAO Cigars. So at this event, literally, somebody said to the guy who runs Torano Cigars, named Carlos Torano, someone asked him, they said, why do you make such great cigars for CAO Cigars and you keep all the shit cigars for your own company? First of all, what a ridiculous thing to say to the owner of the company. And here was his response. We don't create shit cigars. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And we don't give our best cigars to CAO. But CAO outspends us 6-1. We've been a multi-generational company. They're a new cigar company. They outspend us on all their marketing and advertising. And CAO did. They were in all the industry magazines, big, full page, 2-page ads, slick ads everywhere. They did all sorts of crazy stuff. They had this cigar called the Sopranos. Back then, the Sopranos was a big deal. They had this cigar called the Sopranos. And the Soprano cigars had like a cigar box that was shaped like the back of a trunk. It was crazy. It was crazy. The marketing was insane. And Carlos Torano said, we always thought it was just about the product. But what we've learned is you need a great product and great marketing. And he said it's been a good eye-opener for our business. And now we are growing our own marketing budget. So that was a good lesson for me. And I take that into the cryptocurrency space. Marketing is a big deal. You want a company that has the ability to be able to market, and they understand that they need to be marketing. Now, not every company, a lot of these projects, when you start getting into more risky, smaller projects, they're not going to all have, marketing budgets or whatever. But do they have a strong community? At the very least, you want them to have a strong community. And do they have first mover advantage? Are they doing something unique, and are they the first ones to do it? And then, of course, if they have a marketing budget, that is phenomenal. Now, once you make a decision to actually buy into a project, What I would encourage you to do is follow through. Follow up and follow through with the project. And the way you do that is, of course, staying in Discord and stuff like that. And understand that when you're in the Discord community or the Telegram, when you're in the Telegram chats or whatever channels, I don't even use Telegram that much. I use Discord. But when you're in those, even on stuff you're going to see on Twitter, keep in mind it's biased, right? It's all positive for the company, the project, the cryptocurrency that you're a part of or wanting to learn about. But here's what you want to try to be objective, and one thing you can do is look at the roadmap and make certain they're hitting their targets on the roadmap. There are a lot of cryptocurrencies that have extremely ambitious goals. I mean, and it doesn't matter. Here's another thing. Is the roadmap even possible? Do you think it's even possible? There are some, I mean, for example, if you saw a cryptocurrency and they were like, yeah, by, 2021, we're going to, be traveling in time. Yeah, right. Oh, of course not. I'll tell you another one. There's a lot of projects that will have a roadmap out there and they'll say, we're going to be, integrated with Visa and have our own Visa card in, a couple of years. Well, if you don't understand financial regulations, that actually sounds feasible. Actually, big connected to this. That's one of the big areas that some of the bigger YouTubers out there that were, victims themselves of this whole thing. That's one of the big red flags they had. I did as well, by the way. As soon as they were announcing that they were going to have a Visa card, I mean, it was like, yeah, we'll see about that. I doubt it, because at least here in the U.S., the regulations for Visa they're just not the banking regulations and financial laws. That's very, very difficult. Are there crypto cards out there? There are. However, there's not a VeChain card. I don't know of any cryptocurrency that has their own cards for the sole purpose of that cryptocurrency, their own Visa card. And if you see that, I'm not saying it won't happen eventually, but you should probably be skeptical if you see something on the roadmap that looks like it's extraordinarily optimistic. So just be mindful of that. And then watch the roadmap. Do they live up to their deadlines? That's if they are notoriously putting deadlines off, then what it means is they may not have planned properly. And they might have just, got overly optimistic in their project, which is fine, but you need to figure out is it worth you staying in that project, or is this a sign of weakness and maybe you should sell? But you need to understand, if you're in this space, you need to understand that markets go up and down, prices go up and down. So do you believe in the project? What is your personal conviction? You have to, and you have to be able to then look at the project and not be married to it. Meaning, make your decisions related to investing on the actual project itself. Don't make your decisions based off the price. Make sure it's on and that's easy to do as long as you don't get, you don't have too much of your personal net worth into the crypto space. This is still a risky space, by the way. This is still a risky space. If you have any questions about anything that I've said said at all, please feel free to comment below. Subscribe to this channel, and I'm gonna put at the end of this channel. Let me just say this: subscribe to this channel. If you have any questions, put them below. If this content has been helpful for you at all as an introduction to this space, please hit that thumbs up, the thumbs up icon as well. Stay tuned. I'm going to be releasing some more videos, things like how to set up an exchange account, how to get started with things like Coinbase. I will eventually start reviewing various projects that I personally like and projects that may be like VeChain. I may do a review of VeChain. I don't have a strong opinion either way about something like VeChain. I just don't. But it's not a project that I'm super excited by just because supply chain management, I don't know, it just doesn't excite me. So, but it doesn't mean that I can't review it. It doesn't mean that it's not going to be a project that may be beneficial. It definitely might have some merits. Who knows? VeChain may one day change the world. So I don't mind reviewing through it. But just here's what I'm going to tell you: if you're new in this space, you've never bought Bitcoin before, set up a Coinbase account. Go ahead and buy Bitcoin, as long as it's not going to stress you out, as long as it's not taking food off your table. And I also have got a video I'll put up at the end. I just did a video related to cryptocurrency dividends, and that'll introduce you to a couple different projects. There's also a video. I just did an entire hour-long video yesterday about how to be able to earn a passive residual income, a cryptocurrency income, without actually investing in cryptocurrency. And it's called using something called Cryptotab. And I'll put that video at the end as well. That's just an interesting way for you to be involved in this space without having to put any of your own money out. So stay tuned for that. You'll probably see that on the screen right now. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome day.